borderline personality disorder is often based on abandonment trauma. And it's this weird one where the person has deep, deep fear of abandonment, but simultaneously also fear of engulfment. So the person is always, constantly paranoid that their significant other is going to leave. But then also if their significant other shows love, then they run away. So it's like a no-win situation either way. They tend to do a lot of things like self-trashing. They can harm themselves quite a bit. And they also tend to be chameleons because they have such a great fear of abandonment that they don't have a stable sense of identity or who they are. And so their personality can change drastically, typically from significant other to significant other. They often call it a favorite person. And Amber Heard is somebody who a lot of people believes has BPD. BPs are like the nicest people in the world. They really love you in a way that almost nobody else can. But they suffer. They suffer really, really bad. And it's a very, very sad personality disorder. So this is the kind of content that we can't really cover in things like personal growth or even in spiritual growth. Somebody can find God. It's not necessarily going to cure narcissism or sociopathy. Somebody can study self-help and, watch like really cool Teal Swan videos or something like that. And it's not necessarily going to cure BPD. So it's one of these things where this is where psychiatry does come in. And it's funny because I would never look at psychiatry when I was younger, because I would look at what they'd have to say about attraction or things like modern day understanding of the immune system. And, I'm obviously somebody who's really into natural health. So, I look at things like attraction or health and I'm just like, man, the pros have no clue what they're talking about. Why would I look at this? I'm more into like the alternative way, the spiritual way, the self-help way, et cetera, et cetera. And it winds up being, completely insufficient. And a lot of people that actually study modern day psychiatry, actually, they know a lot. And I've studied it for about half a year now. I've actually learned a ton. It's very humbling. Last funny kind of wild card that I'll leave you with about this is that I do sometimes wonder, and I know this is really out there, if these are, and again, this is really, really out there and try to bear with me here, but I do sometimes wonder if modern day psychiatry is like a kind of modern day attempt to clasp at straws for the fact that somebody just has a freaking demon on them. And the idea, in some spiritual circles is that there's these demonic entities that clasp onto you. And so if you go into a very low vibration state, it actually opens you up because you're a resonant match for that entity to go like right on you. And it actually hijacks you and it gets you to further resonate with it and do worse and worse things. And there's some pretty good explanations for why a lot of these personality disorders are actually a demonic entity that's running the person. But we'll leave that one for another day. That's just an alternate spiritual explanation. But I've learned a ton from studying psychiatry.